cover version of a song. You can do cover versions without asking, but we didn't do that. We also were suing us for changing the lyrics. You're not supposed to do that if you do a cover version of a song. They sued us for defamation of character, for associating this terrible foul language with the clean-cut image of the band U2. And finally, they sued us for fraud, saying it was a get-rich-quick scheme intended to dupe millions of innocent U2 fans into buying this record. So, I don't know how smart the U2 fans are. So we were sued for everything you can imagine, and what we were being sued for wasn't just this record. This is what we do. This is our entire way of creating art and culture and what we make and what we feel compelled to do and driven to do. And we've been doing this at the time for already 11 years of our lives, pretty substantial period of time. And we work fairly intuitively as a group. We don't have discussions at the level I am with you now, really. We just kind of know where we're going and we're just working it out, trying to make it turn out the best. We're not questioning why are we appropriating, what is, we're doing the work. But this we did have to really examine and talk about what we were doing and how much we were willing to fight this, because we were going to lose everything. We'd lose an enormous amount of money, and most of the group lives well below poverty level income, and we might lose a whole lot of our back catalog, and we were just in for a fight with one of the largest record companies in the world by doing this. Island Records was part of Polygram. And we realized, of course, that we were in the right. This was okay. It was a legitimate way to make stuff. That we should be allowed to do this. That it was wrong that these people were suing us. This argument now is not a difficult one to make all these years later. Back then it really was. People really, really thought it's a crazy point of view to have. How can you take these things that don't belong to you, that someone else created, and reuse it in your own art, sell it for money? Wow, you're thieves. What are you saying? And of course, our argument to us was a simple one, which is human beings who create art, sculpture, music, painting, you can only create and make things about the world you live in. That's it. It's the only one we've got. This is our world. We're going to make creative things that respond to the world we're in. And you're going to use the tools you have available. So if you're living in a cave somewhere and there's, a kangaroo outside, you're going to take a burnt stick out of the fire, and you might do a drawing of it on the cave wall. That's your technology, and that's responding to your environment, the world you're in. And now the world we're living in, of course, obviously, it's media, it's a corporate presence, it's pop songs, ads, logos, and we have these new tools, these capturing technologies of first tape decks, tape recorders, and then computers and samplers and digital cameras, and all these ways of grabbing things and making things. The impulse is the same. It's just human beings doing what they do. The difference is we have this very strange creature that's invaded our planet called corporations, who are immortal, claim to have the rights, at least in the U.S., of free speech and personhood when they deserve neither in any way, shape, or form. And it's what has destroyed. Personally, I think democracy in America is absolutely over at a national level. It's been completely destroyed. We're going down. You get to watch it from over here. I hope you guys don't copy this too much. But yeah, it's terrifying. I think at the local level, still good things can happen. But at the national level, the Citizens United Supreme Court decision, which some of you may know of, just terrifying. It felt to me like the final nail in the kind of coffin of pseudo-democracy that we had. But yes, the corporations claim that ideas are property. The very thought of putting the word intellectual next to the word property is just a very strange idea if you really think about it. We're saying an idea is a thing, it's property. And they want to profit from this, from their point of view, understandably, forever. There's no point where Walt Disney wants to say, well, we've had Mickey Mouse long enough, it's okay, you can have him do whatever you want. Coffee mugs or comics where he's having sex with Minnie or whatever. We don't mind. They're never going to do that. From their point of view, it's understandable why they want to exercise this and stop things. So, having gone through that hoax with the axe murder story and learned a lot about working with the media, being sued was horrific, and it did take up 5 years of my life every single day, literally. It was absolutely unending battle. But we also realized that this wasn't just a problem, this was an opportunity. We'd just been sued on behalf of the world's biggest rock band, and that if we got out these ideas, this argument, this other point of view, that the news media, which pretends to be objective, So when they cover a story, they're kind of they're a pretend on captivity and sort of say, well, we have to tell both sides of the story. And a lot of media does that with these kind of false equivalencies that are really problematic too, as if both sides are kind of equal when they're not. And so we thought that we had a good chance of getting this out there into the public discourse, in a pretty big way. And we did. We got a stack of press this high. We ended up hearing from Sinead O'Connor's press agent, who gave us Sinead O'Connor's press list for the whole planet Earth, and we ended up getting international press because we had that back then. Again, just pre-internet. So we knew where to address things and stamp things and send them. And we were fighting a fight that we felt was for a much bigger cause for the sake of art and culture and creativity and the future of what being a creative person even looks like in this world. We also fought it for our own smaller, self-serving reasons. I thought, if we can't change the laws, if we can't change the world to be the way we want it to be, I want to at least so totally embarrass these assholes who went after us that we at least get left alone. I want to carve out a little space where negative then gets left the fuck alone. And I think we were very successful in that. And U2 really did get an enormous amount of bad press. In fact, I heard one story where they were interviewed on national radio here in Australia when they were on tour, and they got asked about it on the radio live. And we ended up tricking the Edge, the guitar player, into an interview. We actually talked to them about their Zoo TV tour and how they were appropriating things in their own tour, images and copyrighted stuff. What did they think about that? What did their lawyers say? And then halfway through, we revealed, who we actually really were. That was interesting. And in the end, we collected the whole thing into this ridiculous. We actually, see, this is a giant infomercial. We actually made a book that actually tells the whole story. It's not a narrative retelling. It actually is the press releases, the faxes, the lawsuit, the phone calls, the call to the Edge. It's all the stuff, the behind-the-scenes journey you're never supposed to see when things get settled out of court. And the book ends up, of course, being an example of what it is. It tells a story through found objects. And I think, we hoped it was very respectful of the reader, because you really get everyone's perspective on the story. You kind of make up your own mind. The record label we were on, the SST, founded by the founding member of the punk rock band Black Flag, unfortunately they also sued us for putting out a magazine about being sued for putting out a record. So it got very meta. So anyhow, I could talk about this story for a very long time, but what I want to show you now is a little short that we made to go along with this. And it's the B-side of the single, and it's a little film that we made with U2, so let's look at that.
Now, we're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio, and here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's go start again. I'm coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. That's the letter U and the numeral 2. The four-man band features Adam Clayton on bass, Larry Moore on drums, Dave Evans, nicknamed The Edge, on... This is bullshit. Nobody cares. These guys are from England, and who gives a shit? There's a lot of wasted names that don't mean diddly shit. For sure. You guys don't know where he's at. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Diddly shit. Diddly shit. Diddly shit. Diddly shit. Nobody cares. He was a little dog named Snuggles. This is American Top 40. This is American Top 40. This is bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Goddamn numbers, man. It's impossible to make those transitions. Then you gotta go into somebody dying. God damn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Why are we doing these instrumentals? We got them? I don't understand it. This is all fucking new. I don't understand it. This is all fucking new. I don't understand it. I think if people read more into the music than is really there. Will somebody find out the goddamn answer? And if they think that it's vulgar and despicable to have songs like Petrie Tonight, Let's Do It Like Folklore, all of them like Folklore, those are considered euphemisms for something dirty. Who gives a shit? Some old dirty pack. Italy shit. They came to some trio things, so they use the word damn with band on the radio. God damn it. In the 60s, it was a song of Louie Louie. God damn it. Something like that. God damn it. Every way they could play it, something was dirty. God damn it. That's found that there's message from the FCC was for it. All fuck. In the 70s, people went through the same experience looking for the dirtiness of the song. I think some things that they kind of got to say. Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. It's the last goddamn time I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is, that's up-tempo and I gotta talk about a fucking dog dying.
I gotta get fucked with so much shit. Super shithead here. Who knows? Like it's trying to sit down.
Whoa, this is fucking ponderous, man. Ponderous, fucking ponderous. This is American Top 40, right here on the radio station you grew up with. Music Radio 138. Oh, fuck.
Fuck you, Richard. Fuck you, Richard. Fuck you, Richard. Fuck you. Shit.